Among the Hopi, the Creek, the Crow Indians, it was customary to lead the aged person to a hut away from the village and abandon him there to die. According to the U.S. Bureau of Census, by the year 2000, 1/2 of the population will be over 60. By today's standards, they have little to look forward to but illness, loneliness, and poverty. We said no to those myths, and we found an alternative to passive aging. We chose to come here in the Arizona desert and live our longest holiday. The Sun City Pom Poms are heralds of this new joy of active retirement.
I'm ageless. There's just no time. I mean, no age to start or stop.
Here, old is not defined by age, but by attitude.
I think it's made us younger by 10, 15 years. The more we dance, the better we feel.
Youth is not a time of life, but a state of mind.
$71.
63. 76.
64.
I'm 69.
66. 81 and a half. 61. 69, almost 70.
64.
My son-in-law wonders when I'm going to grow up.
You ought to hear our grandchildren talk about it. Oh, I want to be like you, Grandma, when I get older.
People come to Sun City from all over the country and from all walks of life. Oh, you name it, we've got it. And I mean that literally. The world travelers, the authors, the doctors, the psychologists, the engineers, the production line managers.
Affluent, very well-educated, sophisticated people, and they have a great deal of emotional control, in my experience, over their own lives.
There has been a tendency by the nature of our society to say we are now retired from something instead of we are retiring to something.
Out here, we feel that we have paid our dues. We have lived through the world wars. We've lived through the worst depression we ever had. We came out on top, and we have the courage to say we think we're going to come out on top here too. And for that reason, when we get together for a party, we're not saying how terrible the world is. We're looking forward with optimism and trying to make every day count.
When you move to Sun City, you can do anything you want to here. Well, I mean, within reason, you know, legal.
Wow, this is a hell of a life, isn't it, Grand?
I got tired of shoveling snow in Michigan, I'll tell you. That's the reason I came here.
I'd rather shovel the sunshine.
I live here every day. I'm at this pool every day, just like the rest of us.
All the nice
We're
people.
a clique. We're a clique.
All the nice people. We all vote the same way.
This is Shangri-La.
There's nothing like
For people like us, this is Shangri-La.
really is.
No government, no taxes, no school taxes.
What do you mean, taxes? I pay taxes.
No teenagers.
What are they? I came away from paying thousands of dollars taxes. I'm paying $250 a year to live here.
You sell a home for $150,000 in California, you can buy one for $60 here, and you got $80,000, $90,000 to invest at 10%. And
It's unbelievable what they offer you here.
In addition, the builders of the community invested millions in recreational opportunities for which each resident pays $52 a year. Often a person looks to retirement as an opportunity to do those things they didn't have time for when they were younger.
Most of the time, we're up at 6 o'clock in the morning and on the golf course by 7. Then go for breakfast, then read the paper, and then go for lunch, and it's real difficult.
The only thing is you never know when there's a holiday because every day is a holiday.
After a while, recreation is no longer enough. People want to recover the sense of purpose they had when working.
We urge everybody get involved. Get involved. Make your life meaningful.
At the community hospital, people are doing just that.
Would you care to have a cup of coffee this morning?
Yes, please.
Boswell Hospital has capacity for close to 300 patients, and there are 1,400 volunteers. People here are so eager to volunteer that they have a backlog of membership.
We have all sorts of talented people here who are volunteering their time, keeping active. They're still spreading their talents around, but they have been forced into retirement, a mandatory retirement. They're older, get out. And so they come down here, and they're still a part of an active world.
It's surprising how much...
At this sound studio, a group of volunteers produce audio tapes of the weekly news for those who have lost their ability to read.
So far, in a dozen years, we've sent out maybe 60,000 cassette tapes. Timing is okay.
People take care of us, and we take care of ourselves. We don't need politicians around to do it for us.
The Prides get up 5 o'clock in the morning, and each takes a section of the town, and they go clean up the debris from the media strips and from the street. All volunteer. They buy their own equipment.
you look in here and it's a garden spot, like a friend of mine came to visit me. She says, this is heaven. It's so clean and so quiet. The only reason it is, it's because of the fact that everybody wants it that way.
As well as volunteering to do these community services, the citizens administer their local government through a system of organizations and associations.
Somebody decides this thing ought to get done, and we'll set up a committee. And if it doesn't create too much protest, okay, then that committee becomes our governing body.
A prime example is the sheriff's posse.
Wherever you find retired people congregated, everyone thinks that they are just simply loaded with money, that they don't mind having it taken from them. We mind having it taken from our residents, so we get out there and we watch for them.
Also, we have to watch out in the area of Arco and Sierra courts. Okay, now on the vacation watch cards, please mark in the time that you make the call. A good idea to patrol our shopping areas as usual. Stop and check all the rec centers. If they have a function, arrange to be there at that particular time. If you can't cover it and I'm free, I'll be over there. Okay, that concludes our briefing. Let's get out and have a good and safe patrol. See you all at 2400 hours.
This is Sun City 1. We are 1023 at Edward, 1035.
I know that we couldn't have professional deputies in Sun City because of the extreme cost. In order to properly man Sun City, the sheriff would have to put on at least 100 officers. And it costs approximately $165,000 to $200,000 to keep one squad on duty. Therefore, it just behooves us to utilize what we have a good quantity of, and that is retired members who have the time and the ability and the willingness to give their service.
We have no payroll, and we receive no tax money. Our funds come from generous donations of the citizens of Sun City.
I believe older people need to know that they are needed and wanted and appreciated. And that's one big thing that we receive out of this service, is we have the feeling that we're definitely needed, definitely wanted, and very much appreciated.
Hi, how are you this morning? Good.
Instead of playing golf all day or bridge all day, we prefer doing this. We reach more people, and I think we have just as much fun, just as much enjoyment and satisfaction out of it. In fact, more so.
Ready on the firing line.
All 265 members of the posse are trained in CPR and first aid. Although no posse members ever had to fire a gun in the line of duty, those who carry them must pass a rigorous shooting test twice a year.
Unload and holster.
Sun City permits you to be anything you're capable of being, and maybe something you never thought yourself capable of being.
And as we came down to the town square, the policeman was waiting for us. And as we stopped and took our helmets off and he saw our gray hair, he laughed and said something that I can't repeat for polite people, and told us then that a lady had called and said the Hells Angels were in town and the police should protect them all.
It's a disease like gambling, a woman chasing, or drinking, or anything else. Once you do it, it seems to get in your blood, and it's difficult to stop.
I have no concept of age when I'm riding. I'm just out there riding because I enjoy it. I rode when I was in high school, and then I didn't ride a motorcycle until I retired. And so I decided that perhaps I should go back to my childhood, and I got a motorcycle.
Dangerous, so are other things. If you get up in the morning, you're flirting with danger right away, and I don't feel like spending the rest of my life in the house sitting in a wheelchair.
And fell in the bathtub after he'd been out in space, so just about anything you can. I think the bathroom is a very, very dangerous place to be.
One really important basic point about aging is that as we age, we become much different from each other rather than becoming the same.
The experience of subjective aging is frequently precipitated either by a personal loss, such as the death of a close family member, or possibly even more commonly by the advent of a serious physical illness, which may be associated with a sense of, oh my goodness, now I am old.
It depends really on those things that have been important to us our entire life and the value that we've placed on them. And when we lose those things that are most valuable to us, of course, we react, most distressingly. My beauty has been the thing that has allowed me to master life's difficulties. And if I find that my beauty is leaving, I'm forced with a choice. The woman who uses her beauty to manipulate others will have to find another way to manipulate others, or perhaps may be able to master life's difficulties without manipulating others.
There are people out here who actively try to maintain their sex life. There are lots of social functions where boy meets girl, except they're older boys and older girls. But the same thing happens. The dance is on Saturday night.
I don't think the sexuality in Sun City is any different than it is in Upper or Lower Volta or wherever. But we have more time.
Well, I'm telling you, this is a single man's paradise.
I don't know, some people call it Sin City.
I wasn't going to get married again.
I think it's Fun City.
But you can see what happened.
There's an occasional resident, I'm sure, that is anxious to remarry and is not adverse to hunting down a mate. They have to be cautious because many of these males are not willing to remarry on any condition.
Been a bachelor my entire life, and I'm 10 ahead of Biglio. I've dated 115 girls but never been married.
Sure, there are a lot of hanky-panky, but you know what they say about Sun City men? You can tell a man from Sun City because he's got white shoes and a rusty zipper.
There's women looking for mergers, and so are men. And if two can accommodate themselves, fine.
It's wonderful. There are 12 single ladies in Sun City for every single man. And a fella hates to see a woman in distress.
The ratio of widows to widowers is about 10 to 1.
Well, I think I got it. More than that.
More? More than 10 widows to a widower?
It's 35 to 1.
35 to 1? Oh, my God. No wonder I haven't got a chance.
35 to 1. Get separated.
Haven't had a date in 7 years.
Finding out they not found out what's killing the men. It's the widows. My bodyguard. Oh, wait. Now, can you see him?
Men don't dare to put in the paper that their wife died or this. So many women are running after them all the time.
I think there's a gentility about trying to find the answer to being lonely, trying to find the answer to your physical needs.
A lot of people, either widows or widowers, who enter into new relationships and they find a new sexual awakening.
We have a lot of marriages here, too. We don't have any babies being born, but we have a lot of marriages.
Elva, will you have this man to be your husband?
I will.
Elmer, will you have this woman to be your wife? I will. By the authority committed unto me as a minister of the Church of Christ, I declare that you are now husband and wife. You may kiss her, Elmer.
A 92-year-old man, it's a physical examination, and the doctor greets him and says, "Well, Joe, how you doing today?" And Joe said, "Well, I'm doing fine, Doc, except my left knee here is just giving me a lot of trouble." And Doc checks him over and he says, "Now, Joe, listen, what do you expect? You're 92 years old." And Joe said, "But this knee's 92 years old and it feels just fine." One of the great mistakes that this society has made has been attributing certain things to aging, which in fact are illness and disease. If we become sick when we age, then we may become helpless, but it's not aging, it's illness. Many elderly people fear that senility is an inevitable part of aging, when in fact that is far from the case.
The aging process itself does not necessarily go hand in hand with senility. There are many patients in my practice who are in their 90s who are quite bright, alert, active.
Some of my friends got word that I had been a dance teacher, and they said, oh, we have about 20 women after the gym class would like to learn a little dancing. And I said, I'll teach you for 1 month and see how it goes. I'd always taught children, you know, up through high school age, and then their dancing ended. So I said, what do you teach to women this age? And I thought, well, they can all walk, so I'll start on the premise that they can walk. And I set up a little short dance in walking different directions. Well, instead of 20 women, when they got there, there was 100 women that came for the first lesson. And believe it or not, some of those same women are still coming after 9 years. Music is God's greatest gift to humanity. Can you imagine a world without music? And right behind it is the ability to move to music. The joy of moving and dancing is a great gift. And I tell the girls, you're only 16 years old, come on, let's have some fun.
Here they're among their people who are going through the same experiences, and the activities provided for them geared towards retired people. It gives them a definite advantage.
I have just gone through a very traumatic month, and I can get out on account of these girls. I can smile, and I can still enjoy myself, and I think they're wonderful, and I'm working harder now than when I used to dance professionally, but I love it, and I love every one of them.